Okay, growing your personal brand. So this has really been the theme of the week is our social media presence and the power of, excuse me, growing our personal brand. And what I've really been thinking about is Elon Musk's example of using one social profile for his personal brand, which with his net worth is at this point 223 billion. And his companies are Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, Neuralink, Solar City, X.com, XAI, and even having $1 billion company, I would say, is very impressive, of course, but having multiple is pretty interesting. And so I was going back and forth with ChatGPT, and essentially what it told me is that personal brands are the new media companies, where people go to find uh, trusted resources and community from people like them. And that's really what's been on my mind. And that's what we'll get into the subconscious clearing here today too, is personal brands being the modern, or really the new cities, new towns, new nations. And if anybody's familiar with Balaji, who's in the tech world, he has something called the network state, the nation state of really, personal brands can go past 1 million. And right now, a nation can be in the United Nations if they're at 1 million people. So it's kind of interesting lens I've been finding to look through. So it's like if you have 1 million people connected to your mission, vision, values, like you got a digital nation right there. So of course, what we're going to get into is the feeling overwhelmed or repulsed by social media. So what I'd recommend right now is just taking a note of what feels relevant to you. Fear of judgment. I know it's been a big one for me. Fear of failure. Oh, I'm going to try some things out and it's going to be public and people are going to know about it. And they're going to think less about me. I feel like more and more these days, people don't care because they're just so wrapped in their own world and their own things. Fear of wasting time, I believe, is totally valid. Fear of becoming obsessive. Oh, what are the likes? What are the engagements? What are the comments? Fear of respect. Whoa, that's a little plot twist. What if you're seen in this bigger way and people respect and love what you have? Maybe fear of power, how words can influence many people, impact many people. We're going to the subconscious, of course, right? So our conscious mind is like, what are you talking about? Those are all good things. However, subconscious mind, we know, can be a different story. So fear of love, fear of simplicity. Hey, if you got a personal brand, sales calls get shorter and shorter, more and more simple. Maybe there is a fear of simplicity. So really the thing that I've had on my mind this week is growing your digital real estate, like I shared, and having that lens just to play around with it. And I was just on a call hosted by Yannick. It was a network call, and people connected, and now they're going to see, my posts, which I feel excited about because I've been putting more and more of my real self out there, I feel like. So they're going to see memes. They're going to see me pissed off at the corruption of our politicians, regardless of what color they are, red or blue. They're going to see the things that I care about with mastermind groups, right? So in the sense of saving time, that'll help next time we talk. And another phrase that's come up this week is using social media as a spiritual tool to speak to your soul allies. What if that could be the case? What if we're using social media as a spiritual tool to speak to your soul allies? So speaking to your soul allies, at first a small circle, then a town, then a city, then a state, and who knows, maybe even a nation. And so that's what we'll get into today, is clearing those things and making it as simple as possible for you to have your mission. And one last thing I'd point out here is I had a certain vision for my mission, and I felt like the size of that mission didn't require me to be on social media, because I could just live through referrals, build up things, be anonymous. And then I realized my mission expanded and things started heating up, in our nation and our world. And I was like, damn, I'm going to need a voice. I'm going to need power. I'm going to need allies to make the difference that I feel called to deliver. So I'm like, okay, well, damn, how can I make this work for me and us rather than against us? So with that being said, go ahead and hear from everybody of what's one thing that you'd like to take into the subconscious clearing today.